Hello dear ones, welcome to Tolle Wolle and welcome once again to a little experiment video. I have here the Woolly Hugs home yarn. This is relatively smooth cotton, relatively smooth yarn. We have here 60% cotton and 40% polyamide with 100 meters, 57 meters length per 100 grams. And the color is 68 petrol, beautiful dark petrol shade, and I have already opened this skein from the inside. Let's take a look at the small thread. We actually have a white filling inside and this cotton casing around it, making the whole thing super smooth for needle sized 8 to 10 actually. But today I'll actually be working it completely without needles, like this. So I'll try to work it completely with needles. So first I will make a small chain of air stitches, all with my fingers, and then I will try to knit it in a technique I know which is usually used for very thick yarn, for example to make blankets. So I first take a little loop here and lift here. Just keep pulling the thread through. You see I use my index finger and thumb for this, and just keep pulling the thread through. I'll quickly count the stitches I already have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 6. So I'm trying to make it as even as possible. You see it's already become a bit uneven and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches here now. And what I'm actually doing now is basically the same technique as with the loop yarn, only that I am working without loops. With the loop yarn you have these small loops that you pull through each other. Here I have to actually imagine the loops. And now I take the next stitch here, come with the thread from the right again, pull it through once here and make a loop. There you have a small loop. I just leave it there and then go into the next stitch, pull the thread up here, and then I have a small loop there. I need to make sure they become as even as possible. So 1, 2, 3, I already have 4. And then back here 5. So at the beginning I actually counted 5, but the 6th has already become the first stitch here. I must now make sure they become roughly the same size. So I have the 5 here now, and now I'm working back. That means I'm taking the yarn and going back from left to right. And I have already pulled it up, then I go through the loop here, lift it through here, and then through the next one again. Basically a simple technique. You just have to make sure that you are really pulling on the working yarn and not pulling out the loops at the back. If I were to pull on the left side here, I would be taking out this loop. And just watch, so that the loops do not twist the loops, so that I get a nice smooth stitch pattern here. So, and then I am back outside here. Again, it doesn't come apart by itself, it doesn't fall apart, although that is also somewhat due to the wool itself. So I have already pulled this through once and I am pulling it through again now. Yes, exactly, through here once more so that I can start the row here again. And then I slowly work my way back. Where is the yarn? There is the yarn. I think I just pulled something I shouldn't have pulled. So here you can see the structure. here I just have the problem. I think I pulled on the neighboring stitch and almost pulled the loop out. That should definitely not happen. And with that, I have come back to the outside here. What I'm going to do now is, it's a bit like knitting here. Secure all the loops once and the whole thing a bit. Pull and then take a look at it, because I worked very loosely, but what you can see now is indeed a clear stitch structure. We have knit stitches here on the side. Looking back here, a very clear left stitch pattern. You can work like this, especially with this yarn. Of course, there is this type of yarn, also much thicker, with which you can make beautifully nice blankets. I have actually never tested it. Would definitely be an idea. And this technique, which I actually, as I said, got from these blankets and of course also from loop yarn, taken over, as you can see here, can be implemented with a bit of finesse and a bit of flair, and probably also with lots and lots of practice. And so of course, don't forget the edge stitch here. And then on the way back on the last row, I actually put in a twist. What am I doing there? I take it out and pull it through here in a rather strange way again. Okay, I got the twist out. And then once back again, that's actually something to watch out for to avoid creating those twists. And then I'm back on the outside here. And did one more row there. Then I add the stitch again on the outside here. And then work my way back again. I will continue this for a few more rows and then of course I'll show you again. So here you see an overview right now. And yes, I will continue a few more rows and then of course show you again. And time for a little update. So I did a few more rows. I think I may have done something wrong on the side here or pulled a stitch too large here, but otherwise I'm quite happy with it. Now the question is, how do you close it at the top? Super easy. You just grab this side here and take the two outermost stitches and pull the second through the first, and then slowly work your way over to the opposite side. Always pull one stitch through the other until just once you reach the outside here, naturally do not pull out the adjacent stitches. That is exactly what you have to pay full attention to with this type of knitting. And yes, then I've arrived here. This will of course be shortened. And then the thread is pulled through once, tightened, and I am finished with it. So what you can also notice is that just like in knitting, it rolls up. We have a bit of that problem, and it didn't turn out quite uniform. I already mentioned, especially down here, I pulled a stitch really big. I have no other twists, and I am quite happy with it otherwise. There's definitely a slight difference for me between the forward and backward rows, meaning between the purl and knit stitches. Either way, what I mean is whether I've come from one side or the other, you can see they are sometimes a bit smaller, a bit larger, but otherwise the technique definitely works. And let's see if in the coming weeks maybe I will make a big blanket with this technique. Feel free to write it in the comments. I'm excited to read it all. And yes, I hope you liked it, had fun. If so, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, activate the bell, don't forget, and we'll see each other again next time at Tolle Wolle. Until then, bye.